Hi, everybody. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty with that first live, so hopefully this one goes more smoothly. But I am here in the Healing Woods, and I wanted to tell the story of this beautiful pack of wolves at Shadowland Foundation that I had the honor, complete honor of meeting in 2018 and how they helped me on my cancer journey last year. So to start the story, I'm going to go all the way back to 2017. 2017 was a pretty rough year. I was going through a lot of physical pain with my reproductive system. I was going through, just horrible. Any woman understands the pain that you can go through, during periods. And mine were so bad that it would just, keep me in bed for days sometimes. And I knew that I needed to look more deeply into it, but, I was going to the doctor. They were telling me I was fine. So I figured I'm going to try more holistic routes to, helping myself with this. And so I was doing everything I could. I was doing acupuncture, I was doing Reiki, self-Reiki, getting Reiki. I was doing everything I could. And it got me through. It got me through 2017. But right when 2018 started, there was a lot of things that I wanted to change in my life. And so December of 2017, I was setting some goals for 2018, the next year. And I had three big goals. One goal was getting to the bottom of my horrible reproductive issues. The other was weight loss. I wanted to get very serious about weight loss. And then the other was finally pulling the plug and just going to hypnotherapy college, because I had been looking at HMI. I'd been going to a couple free classes here and there. I'd been receiving hypnotherapy from HMI students, and I knew that that was the school that I wanted to go to. But again, with all of the stuff that I was going through in 2017, there's a little bit of fear there. There was a little bit of a blockage. And the main blockage was, do I really have the time to work full time and go to school? So lots of stuff happening at the end of 2017 going into 2018. The cool thing about 2018 is it started with a blue moon. And so whenever a year starts with a blue moon, in January we had two full moons, which is a blue moon. So whenever a year starts out with a blue moon, I make it a point to call it a blue year. And I do something every month that I've never done in my life and that you would do once in a blue moon, So my first thing in January was to go visit a pack of wolves. So I got together about 5 of my, some amazing women in my life, and we did a pilgrimage up to the mountain to go meet these wolves. And I had no idea what to expect. There was no expectation. I knew I loved wolves. I loved artwork of wolves. I loved the lore of wolves. And, I was excited to meet the wolves, but I had no idea how deep their impact was going to be on my life. So we go to the wolves, we meet them, and everybody had an amazing time. I rented out the place just for us, so we didn't have to have a big group of people with, strangers that we didn't know. And so it was just me and my friends and the owner, Wolf Mama, who took us around, and we got to play with them. They got to lick our face. We watched a video learning about the huge impact that wolves have on the environment, in a good way. So it was just very beautiful. And we spent, a good 3 hours there, and then we all went to lunch and drove back home. And it's totally a day thing. It's an hour and a half away from LA. So it's really, you feel like you've gone on vacation. You feel like you're away from your world, but you're really only an hour and a half away from LA. So it's kind of this beautiful meeting of, being far away on vacation and still being in real life. So I got home and I was in such a good mood. My heart felt so full. Actually, before that, I'm sorry, I missed a very important part. So Colette, who is the wolf mama, the mama of these wolves, she was telling us that Freedom, a particular wolf, Freedom, hurt himself somehow. His back legs, one of his back legs wasn't feeling well, and he was limping a lot. And so I offered to do some Reiki on him, you know. And so there was a point where everybody was watching a film, and Freedom was in the room with us. And I just got on the floor with Freedom, and I started giving his little foot, great, well, I shouldn't say little, it's pretty big. These wolves are big. But I gave his foot some Reiki. And the moment I turned on the Reiki, he just like took a huge breath, like a sigh, like you could hear him sigh. And he just opened himself up and laid on the floor, just belly up, you know. And so I was giving him Reiki and just connecting with him, and his huge eyes were just staring right into mine. And he took one of his paws, and his paw is about the size of my hand. He put his paw on my heart chakra. And I can't even tell you guys the I call it wolf Reiki. He was giving me wolf Reiki. It's an energy I've never felt before. And I'm I do lots of study with energy, and just, I have never felt this energy before. It was so beautiful. And so for like, I'd say 15 minutes at least, maybe 20, he had his paw on my heart and I had my hand on his leg, and we were doing Reiki with each other. He was doing wolf Reiki, I was doing human Reiki. And there was a connection. A connection was complete. I fell in love with that wolf, like that. And so I get home, and my heart is so full. I am so happy. We're just all excited talking about the wolves on the way home. I get into my house, and almost automatic, like just the moment I closed my door after I got home, this rush of emotion just came out of me, and I just started bawling. And started to cry thinking about it. It was just such a pure, beautiful emotion. It wasn't sadness. It was joy, but also a little bit of fear, because I was, one of the things that I took from my time with Freedom giving me wolf Reiki was that I need to look more deeply into what's going on with my body and not just push it away and be busy and do all the things in life. I need to really get serious about it. And so I took some time to just cry. I took some time to cry, do some Reiki on myself. And then I went to sleep. I went to sleep pretty early that day. And I woke up and I had the worst, I was just sick. I was completely sick. I had a fever. I think it was like 102, if I remember correctly. I mean, it was bad. So I had a really quick illness. It was like I had the 102 fever, the fever dreams. In the fever dreams, there was wolves with me and owls, and I was flying. I mean, it was just a total fever dream, yet way more if you think about it, because I had just been with a wolf, and the next year is going to prove that that was not just a fever dream. That was like my spirit guides coming to me, my protectors coming to me. So I just got really ill, and I spoke to one of my friends that went with me to go meet the wolves, and she's a shaman, and I really trust her, advice on things. And I was like, what is up with that? I had such a great time. My heart was so full. I got home, I exploded into tears, fell asleep, and woke up the most ill that I can remember in a long time. And in her tradition, it's known that when you meet a spirit guide, like in the flesh, when you actually meet that animal, they can, the process of your body and your spirit, connecting with that entity or that animal in this case, you go through some stuff, and so that was my way of going through. I purged some old stuff, days after, I felt amazing. It was just getting through those initial couple days after meeting the wolves. It was literally me purging and getting rid of a lot of stuff, a lot of excuses, a lot of anger, a lot of fear around everything that was going on with my body. So that brings us to February. So February was the next month. It was my birthday month. And the thing that I was going to do for the blue year, because I wanted to do something I've never done each month, is I was going to spend a night with the wolves. And so they have a beautiful Airbnb that you can rent on the grounds. And so I rented that house, and I got to meditate to the sound of wolves howling all through the night. I got woken up by not an alarm clock, but by like 10 wolves, like at full power, howling as the sun came up. I got to do a burning with Colette, who's the wolf mama. She has a beautiful area where it's a medicine wheel, and you can, it's just a beautiful space where you can do ritual and really set some beautiful intentions. So I did a lot of work on myself when I was spending the night with the wolves. And I had a very intense dream. Imagine that. Oh, it was a full moon too. It was a full moon and a super moon. So it was just everything all at once. And I had a dream of a black wolf. And none of the wolves are black. There's a very dark gray wolf there named Volcan, but most of the wolves are light colored and gray and things like light gray, things like that. So this was a very black wolf. And I later realized that that wolf was Shadow. And Shadow is the wolf that started Shadowland Foundation. It was their very first wolf. So their elder, the wolves' elder, came to see me when I was spending the night there, and he basically told me, like, you need to get your shit together about the three things: about the weight loss, about the hypnotherapy school, and about getting down to the issue of what's going on with my body medically. And so I don't need somebody to tell me twice, especially when it felt so intense like that. When a dream is a dream and when it's like some other sort of like other reality. And that was definitely one of those other reality dreams. So I started going to the doctor. I looked into hypnotherapy school. The weight loss, that was the third on my list, and I was just so entrenched in all this other stuff. So I was aware of it, but I wasn't like fully doing anything about that at that time. And so, I got myself in April. I was in the middle of all the different tests. There were so many tests. Oh my gosh. But I'm glad that I pushed for all the tests that I did, because it was finally the last test that I had to actually push for when they found the cancer. And so in April, I got my cancer diagnosis. Also in April, I started hypnotherapy school. So that I felt was very like telling, like the moment I finally decide to like, all right, let's do this. I'm going to do this finally after 5 years of wanting to, and the cancer diagnosis. So again, there was a moment where I thought, well, am I supposed to put the school on hold because I need to go have a surgery now? I don't even know what my cancer, what's going to happen. Am I going to have to go on chemo, radiation? Do I need time off? But there was something inside of me that knew that I needed to just do these both at the same time, because I knew that learning hypnotherapy and being within that beautiful healing space of HMI, I knew that that was going to help me within my cancer journey. So of course, when I got my diagnosis, I freaked out. Of course. I mean, that unless you have ever had a phone call saying, hey, you have cancer, you're not going to understand that. It's just, it took me down. And I went to go see the wolves, pretty soon after that, and just cried. I just cried. And I just, I asked Freedom for help. I went to go, see Freedom. He's the lone wolf. So like all the other wolves kind of like cohabit a certain area, but Freedom has his own little area. So Colette allowed me to go see him on my own. And I just asked him for his help. And I said, please help me through this. Please guide me to find the right doctor. I'm scared. This is, please, And Colette was awesome. I have this medicine bag that was made by, I think, an elder of the Lakota people that they are part of. And so she filled this medicine bag with Freedom's fur. So I have Freedom's fur with me all the time. And so I had my medicine bag with me, and I went home from that, and I felt beautiful. I didn't have the big, cry that I had the very first time I met them, but it was because I was already in the process with the wolves. So I felt strength and I felt confidence. And so I went to my first surgeon appointment to meet the surgeon, who my doctor told me, you have to go with him. Don't go with anybody else. He's the best in the business, blah, 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 blah. So I show up with him with my friend, my shaman friend that I was talking about earlier. And it wasn't just me. She saw it too. He treated me so horribly. I felt this big with this man. My body closed up when I was near him. I did not want to open up to him. I mean, he was just so matter of fact. He basically, I'm not going to get way into it, but my whole being knew that this was not the human that I wanted to release my womb to. Releasing your womb is a big thing. And I need my body to feel comfortable and my heart to feel comfortable with the person who I'm allowing to do the surgery. So I felt stuck though, because my doctor told me he's the best. No matter what, you have to go to him. And so I went home and I cried. I mean, it was, I was so raw from being told I have cancer, and then to go see this man who made me, I'm already raw, and he like ripped it open and put, salt in the wound. So I'm just super raw at this point. And I was speaking with some friends, my witchy margaritas people, and Isaac, my brother, since high school. He told me, go to City of Hope. His husband, R.I.P. Patrick, amazing man, he was at City of Hope and went through years. And I knew I know City of Hope. I've been there as doing Reiki on patients who are getting treatments. And I was also a volunteer there. So, when you're in shock, and I was definitely in shock and PTSD from all of this cancer stuff, you're not always thinking, correctly. So I was really glad that Isaac said, just call City of Hope. So that night I went online and I found a doctor, a woman doctor. I wanted a female, because what better human to release your womb to than a female, a person who has a womb, right? So I found her, I saw a video of her, and just immediately I felt a connection with her just by watching the video. And so I called the next morning, and randomly, usually it was like a 3-month wait to see her, but they had somebody had canceled for the next day or the day after or something really soon. And I said, I'll take it. I will take it. And so again, there's that doubt, and I meditated with Freedom. I have my Freedom fur here. And I just asked Freedom, I said, please give me a sign. I meditated with the universe too. Anybody that would listen, basically my ancestors. And I said, please give me a real sign about which way to go. I had already I was already scheduled to have surgery with this man, because when you get a cancer diagnosis and you're told like the sooner the better to get this thing out of you, you're going to do it. I mean, or at least I was, because I had just actually had my beautiful friend Stacy pass from cancer like 2 days before my diagnosis. So I've seen so many friends pass from cancer, and I did not want to be one of them. So of course, time was of the essence, and I needed to get this out of me. So I already had a surgery, with this guy who I really didn't want to. And so there was this doubt though, like, because he kept saying like, there is no way that we can do this laparoscopically. We have to like cut open, and we need to get in there and make sure that everything is gone, and then I meet with this woman who I feel really good about. My body feels really good with her. My heart feels good. The minute she walked in, I cried because her energy was like so different than this guy who like scared the shit out of me, And I knew, my heart knew that it was supposed to be her, but the mind, right? Sometimes our heart and our minds are constantly in battle. And my mind just kept replaying, we can't do this laparoscopic because then you don't know if we're going to miss something microscopic and then that'll turn into, so he really scared me. So there was this constant battle within me, like, she feels good. She's telling me she can do it laparoscopically. She, it seems really good with her, but then there's that, like, it's kind of the devil and the angel, So I told Freedom, I said, I need like a huge sign, not like seeing a butterfly or a heart rock or like, all of the signs that I usually get, or like finding a feather. Like, I need you to tell me exactly what to do. And so the whole day, I'm at City of Hope for quite a while because I'm meeting her, we're doing some tests, we're getting surgery prep and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm finally, I'm walking around looking for the sign. And finally at the end of the day, I'm in like an office and I'm being, my surgery is being scheduled. And the way that her desk was situated, like I could see her computer, I could see what was on her screen. And you guys, I'm not kidding. I look at her screen and she has her email up and there's like her email signature. And it's a quote from Colette, who is Freedom's mom. And there's a huge picture of Freedom. And so at that moment, like I knew that I was supposed to go to City of Hope and that this woman was 100% supposed to be my surgeon, no matter what that other jerk said. And it was literally Freedom. It wasn't just a wolf, it was Freedom. So that was April, and then my surgery was scheduled for June. And I had my surgery and I kept going to school. And in fact, I was learning like beautiful, beautiful things within self-hypnosis and, things to help me along my path within surgery. And just there's pre-surgery hypnosis, post-surgery hypnosis, hypnosis for pain and cancer and all of it, so I was utilizing every single bit of it. And I had my surgery in June and it was 100% laparoscopic. It was, I healed within half the time that they were telling me that I'm, might be out of work and things like that. And it was, and I didn't have to have any chemo. I didn't have to have any radiation. It was just like surgery, heal, move on. And I have freedom to think that for, because if I would have went to that other guy, if I didn't, see Freedom's face there and go to City of Hope, I would have had a gash in my gut like this big, and I would have had probably a month or more of healing time. Life would have been a lot different, if I would have made that choice. So July through November, I was healing from surgery. And then December, I did a lot of inner work, like inner child work on myself. And I went to go see the wolves because part of my inner child was loving to connect with animals. So that was one of my things for December, was playing with the wolves. And January, so this January, that takes us to January of 2019, which I viewed as my year of physical metamorphosis. That was when I really started losing weight. I'm at 70 pounds right now that I've lost. And it's been so easy. It's been so easy with the hypnosis and just all of the things that I'm doing to better myself. My body feeling good because I got rid of the cancer and got rid of all that fear. And I am now a certified hypnotherapist. And so I truly, truly look back at that whole year of 2018. And all of this started because I met those wolves. I'm telling you, all of it. And obviously the wolves didn't go to school for me. I went to school. The wolves didn't have the surgery for me. I went through the surgery. So, it's not like, I did all of it, but it was because of that energy exchange between Freedom and I. And it was because I was brave enough to move forward with all of the things that I needed to do. That's the reason I'm where I am today and who I am today and how I feel today. And so, as most of you know, I feel very, very passionate about what I do. I'm not going to learn any like modality just for fun or because I think it's cool or I think I'd make money at it. That's not why I learn modalities. I learn modalities because they change my life. And the wolves weren't a modality to learn, but they are definitely a place to experience, and a place to experience deep healing and love. And I had a goal last year to create a retreat with these wolves. And last year, obviously, I had a lot going on. But now this year, I'm a different person, and I'm grounded, and I'm done with that journey. And so I want to share these amazing wolves with you guys in a very beautiful way with some healing. We're going to be doing some Reiki. We're going to be doing some hypnotherapy. We're going to have a bullshit bonfire in that sacred space. And you're going to get licked by these wolves. You're going to cuddle these wolves, and you're going to leave with so much wolf fur on you. It's not going to be funny, but it's beautiful. And you can save that wolf fur and use that, in as a talisman. But Women Who Heal with the Wolves is what I have created for you guys. And it's Saturday, October 19th at 11 a.m. And it's going to be a full day. We're going to, meet the wolves, hang out with the wolves. We're going to do some healing. There's going to be some healthy snacks. And if you want, we're gonna have some dinner afterwards, which is gonna be separate from the retreat, because I want to make sure that we end while it's still light out. So people who don't want to drive during the dark, they can just head on home and be driving during the light. But there's a nice little restaurant that we're gonna have dinner at afterwards if people want to join, after the retreat. But all of this is for $297. And I've already sold half of it without even doing any like marketing or anything. So I know it's going to sell out. So I just want to let anybody who's interested know, just get in touch with me. I would love to share these amazing, amazing creatures with you and allow you to have that beautiful healing as well. So as promised, I am going to do some Reiki with everybody who's on here. And I haven't been looking at any of any of your comments. I'm sorry, I'm just really focused on sharing the story. So I'll look at your comments later. But everybody who's on right now, I want you to take a moment. I'm going to be sending some Reiki. And this will work. I'm going to set the intention that this Reiki will work with anybody who just watches the recording as well. But for everybody who is here right now, just take a moment and close your eyes. And get centered in your heart, that beautiful, beautiful space. And know that the wolf spirit animal meeting in Native American mythology conveys strength and courage, a symbol of freedom, freedom the wolf, and wisdom. The wolf often appears to guide your journey of self-discovery. And so taking in all of that power, all of that wisdom, and all of that love of that wolf energy, and taking that into your heart. And wolves are so beautiful to work with, their energy, because they can be like little puppies. Like Freedom was just showing me his belly and making little grunting noises at me with his beautiful eyes. But then they can also mark their territory and they can kill. These guys will not do that, don't worry. But they are fierce. So sometimes we need to have that balance in our heart of just love and puppiness, and then that fierceness to protect ourselves. So bringing in that balance, bringing in that equal parts of love, nurturing, and that fierce protection. And now silently think about anything in your life that you need that energy for, that you need that inner wisdom, that you need on that journey of self-discovery. What is it that you're trying to create? What is it that you're trying to move away from or move towards, that you need some wolf energy with you? And think about that. And feel as the pack of wolves circle you in a very loving way and lay down at your feet and give the Reiki to you through their hearts. And breathe in the healing. And breathe out any doubt. Breathe in that wisdom. And breathe out any fear. And breathe in the new beginnings of who you're going to be. And breathe out any old stagnation to the past. And coming back, grounding yourself however you need to. Thank you guys. This became a longer video than I thought it would be, but I wanted to share the story. It's an epic story. So again, I'll put the link to Women Who Heal with the Wolves. And if you are so inclined to join us on this beautiful journey, I would love to have you be part of it. All right. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye.